All right, everyone. Welcome back to Betting by the Numbers, a sports betting YouTube and Discord channel dedicated to taking the decision-making process out of the hands of idiots like me when betting on sports and putting it in the hands of people who win. We're back after one day off from videos, but I did have a pick posted yesterday. Unfortunately, that blowout in the NBA, it's really what you have to not hope for when you have player props. Blowouts are just really bad because unless you have the one or two players who really lead those blowouts, you can just be on the wrong side of that. Starters get taken out, and all of a sudden they're 30, 40 minutes on the court have dropped to 20, 25, and they're not playing the fourth quarter. So we saw this with the Celtics and the 76ers actually in game 3. We're back for game 4. And we're going to go quickly through our picks today. We don't have a lot of time before these 2:30 and 2:40 starts for most of our picks. So I just wanted to get this up quickly. I've posted it onto the socials, but here is a little explanation on each of the picks. First, on these first two, this is actually going to be a special shout out to one of the Odds Jam Discord members who just does awesome work there. He goes under the name Kryn, I believe, but he does calculations on these combos that have been getting put out. And these lines you can see are taking Jarvis, Timo Meier shots on goal, right? However, through some math calculations, which I am still working kind of with him to perfect, and some other people in the Discord, but he takes the implied probability based on the odds that are set for these players individually, and then finds where there's value based on the two odds combined. Because here, Seth Jarvis could go out and have 5 shots at his own as we're going to push that line. And you can see from his line it's 2 here, and then Timo Meier is 3 here. So obviously that gets us to 5. However, based on Odds Jam and the lines that are shown on the fantasy screen and on Prop Professor, these are both lines that are favorites. So we are okay with taking this to be the 5 is a push because the odds are both in favor of him being at 2.5 rather than 2 or 3, and him being at 3.5 or 4 rather than 3. So if we can just get one more expected shot on goal from one of these guys, this hits. Same principles with the NBA picks. You take the odds, find out the implied odds based on the odds, the consensus odds from the sports books, and then you add them up and you see if Marcus Smart 1.5, Jason Tatum 3, that gets you 4.5 right there. And guess what? Those are both positive EV plays, especially Marcus Smart. He has a heavy positive EV play. So that line should probably be 5, and we're getting 4.5. We take advantage of it, and we exploit the books. So next pick of the day is over on Prop Professor. You can see Joel Embiid over 28 points. The line's 27.5 at most books. You can see it's jumping up at Pinnacle minus 161. That line's likely going to move. It may stay at 27.5 because the game's close, but likely going to move. And you can see why when we go over to the props.cash page and we head over to Joel Embiid, you'll see that this season, when he is, correct that, in the playoffs, you've seen he's hit this line once, was actually against Boston. Against this Boston, he's hit this line multiple times. And they simply need a big performance from him tonight. They cannot lose game 4 at home. He looked much more aggressive in game 3. The script is there. The stats are there. The odds are there. We follow all of those data points and we say this is a pick that has positive expected value. And when you continuously put these types of plays into prize picks of 5 or 6 plays, you will win results over time. The math just backs that up. So we will be adding Mr. Joel Embiid to our lineup. You can see that here, 28 points. Now we're paying a little bit extra because it's not 27.5. However, that's still a push line, and I don't know if the number 28 is what the concept. I would think the number's 29 to me, so I'm comfortable with this. And also, if there's not a blowout, we feel good. So we look at the next line, which is the Tobias Harris over 13.5. That's another one that came from, was this, or it might have been over on Odds Jam. Yes, Odds Jam 13.5. You can see minus 132 at Pinnacle. Just really good odds here. So we're going to add that to our prize picks at 13.5. So we now have 4 picks. We have 2 more to go. And I want to do something a little different here. I am definitely an F1 fan. I've been watching it for a couple years and have really got into the betting side of it because there's some really unique lines there. So we have a pick for today, actually, that's going to be using the PrizePicks. They host a couple lines for F1, and you've already kind of seen the little giveaway, and we should be able to still get the odds for the top 6. But this is why this is important for those of you that may not watch a lot of motorsports, or especially F1. The scoring system can be a little confusing at times. So to break it down for you real quick, we need to see this. So if you all look at this, you can see based on where you finish, you get points. What we need is over 4.5 for Lewis Hamilton. So that means we need him to finish in at least 7th or higher out of 20 racers. Lewis Hamilton, for you don't know, is one of the, if not the greatest racer of all time. He's won 5 or 6 championships, and just, obviously the best to ever do it, or one of the best to ever do it. He's in a car that is not the fastest in the field anymore, but it still has good pace. He did very well in qualifying 1, not as good in qualifying 2 and 3, so he'll be starting near the end of the pack. However, that doesn't worry me as much because of his experience, right? They're down in Miami. He's going to need a big push. And you can see right here, minus 185 for him to finish in the top 6 on FanDuel. Now, that is important because we are going to get him to just finish top 7th, right? So minus 175 at both out of the top 6, minus 185 at FanDuel, yet we're going to pay minus 118 to try to get him to at least finish in 7th place or more. I really like the odds here. I think that he is going to have a big race, and these are the kinds of races Lewis Hamilton's known for, starting near the end of the pack and just overtaking. Miami's not exactly the best track to maybe be in that position, but I think if there's someone who can do it, it's Lewis. There might be some weather involved, which can always throw a screw into things. So I really like this pick. So we're going to add Lewis Hamilton over 4.5 points. It's both positive EV, and it fits into, again, kind of the narrative, the stats, just to get a double backup. And then our last pick is actually from over on PrizePick, or from Prop Professor. You can see Aaron Gordon over half a 3-pointer made, basically consensus across the board, minus 130, including minus 132 at Pinnacle. When you go over to props.cash and you go to 3-pointers made, you will see that, you see Aaron Gordon in the playoffs. He has basically gone, if he misses one, he hits it the next night, right? Against Phoenix. He's hit it in 4 of 6 games. They're away tonight, and he's hit it in 1 of 2 so far. And I feel really confident that he's going to get a look. We just need one to go in. And you can see it's kind of just if he misses one game, we're on to the next. The odds are showing it. The stats are showing it. So we add Aaron Gordon as our anchor on today's pick. So you will see we have 6 picks for today's PrizePicks. It's Seth Jarvis and Timo Meyer over a combined 5 shots on goal. Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum, 4.5 points, 3-pointers made combined over. Joel Embiid over 28 points. Tobias Harris over 13.5 points. Lewis Hamilton of Mercedes over 4.5 F1 points, which is just finishing in 7th or higher. And Aaron Gordon, 0.5 3-pointers made over. That would pay out $500 on a 20-point entry. Of course, we're going to hit the 6 out of 6 today. I feel great about these lines. And we're able to get some of that screwball of baseball out of here for a day. So let's have an awesome evening. Take advantage of these picks. Let's watch some awesome baseball, basketball, hockey, playoffs. It's everything you could ask for, and some Formula One. So thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back in the morning with a full another slate of picks. We'll do a breakdown in the morning. So thank you for tuning in. Again, like, subscribe. If you can send this to your friends just to show, look, there are some people out there who are trying to not just give people picks that hide behind a paywall, but rather someone who just wants to educate you a little bit more on how I've done well in sports betting and how to make you do it well. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you tomorrow.